2 years ago, I was grieving the loss of my mother, and something that had been sitting on my explore list for a while finally moved into focus, a deep dive into Mozart. I picked up Jan Swaffert's biography, The Reign of Love, and as I read, I started building a playlist of Mozart's works that truly moved me. And of those, there were many. For months, I would listen to nothing else. The beauty, the longing, the sheer spiritual depth, it was all there. Then I came across Ave Verum Corpus. Swaffert was writing about it with almost religious reverence. And I thought, really? Can there really be something even more beautiful than the Laudate Dominum out of his Salzburg Vespers? Or the Recordare from the Requiem? Okay, so I put on the first recording I find. And it's the Bernstein recording with the Bavarian Radio Choir. And within seconds, I was weeping. It wasn't just Mozart, the genius. It was something more. It was something deeper. It was sacred. That moment was the beginning of a conversion I didn't yet understand. So, what is this piece? It's a short motet written in June 1791 for the Feast of Corpus Christi. Mozart composed it to help his friend Anton Stoll, choirmeister at a parish just outside of Vienna. It's only 46 bars long, a kind of sacred miniature, scored for a modest ensemble. Mixed choir, strings and basso continuo. Yet, it is overwhelmingly transcendent. It might have taken him just a morning, writes Jan Swaffert. And he's probably right. But that only underlines the point. The time we spend on something doesn't always correlate with its significance. Here, Mozart accomplished something extraordinary. He distilled the mystery of the Eucharist into 3.5 minutes of music. The text of Ave Verum Corpus is a short Eucharistic chant, believed to originate in the 13th century. In the Middle Ages, it was traditionally sung during the elevation of the host at Mass, and later became a private devotion, often recited before or after receiving communion. It's a meditation on the real presence of Christ in the Blessed Sacrament. What strikes me is that the text isn't about Christ, it's addressed to him. And Mozart makes us feel that, hauntingly. His music doesn't just express doctrine, it gives it flesh. The real presence becomes not an idea, but a reality. The music doesn't describe the incarnation, it becomes a vessel for it. When I got hold of the score, I started analyzing, and I was struck by its utter simplicity. But there are key inflection points where Mozart moves, so sublimely, so masterfully, into more daring harmonic territory. Never too far though. He always draws the line back to the tonic, or the dominant, like Christ, drawing us home to himself. As if to say, yes, you will suffer, but in the end, you will be with me. Yes, you too will be crucified, but I will comfort you in ways beyond imagining. One example is the passage Vere passum immolatum in cruce pro homine. Mozart uses sharp notes, literally crosses, as subtle musical symbols of the Passion. He delays resolution with an almost unbearable suspension and release, like a held breath. And the downward lines on passum et immolatum feel like Christ bowing his head. This isn't cleverness, it's reverence. Mozart didn't set out to craft a masterpiece. He kneeled before the Lord. This piece is slow, reverent, and completely uninterested in impressing us. In a world of noise and fast content, it reminds us of presence and of the fact that art, and music in particular, is so much more than just entertainment, and in the best cases, hints to something far greater behind it. In his book, Living in Wonder, that is talking about the imminent and very necessary re-enchantment of the world, Rod Dreher describes this perfectly. When we are under enchantment, we sense that there's something real about the enchantment object that nobody else sees. We have stepped outside the frame, or the ordinary, so to speak, to commune with the hidden essence of a thing. If we believe the incarnation happened, not just once in Bethlehem, but echoes through everything, then music like Ave Verum Corpus becomes more than art. It becomes a sign of Christ himself. When I first heard this piece, I thought I was just listening to beautiful music. But in hindsight, something else was happening. A seed was planted. Something in me shifted. Not all at once, not loudly, but deeply. I now realize it wasn't just Mozart I was hearing. It was Christ calling me through the music.